Hello guys, and welcome you to my channel Laser Graphics and Multimedia. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through some tools in Adobe Photoshop, and this is going to be about class 18 in our Photoshop beginner guide. And I hope you guys are learning one or two things from the day one to this particular one you are watching right now. So before we get to the practical started, guys, if you are very new to this channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to click on the notification bell icon, so whenever I upload content about Photoshop, you'll be able to learn one or two things as far as beginner guide is concerned in Adobe Photoshop. And you can as well check my channel for more advanced tutorial in Photoshop, CorelDRAW, and Adobe Illustrator. Those are the content I made majorly on this channel. And if you have not watched the previous tutorial about Photoshop beginner guide before you are able to got this on YouTube, please remember to watch from the part 1 before you get to this particular part right here. Okay, so in today's class, guys, we are going to look at some of the things we can still do with Adobe Photoshop. We are going to start from how you can merge one or two layers together, how you can use elliptical tools, and how you can actually walk around with rectangular Marquee tool and some other stuff and some other some other tools in Adobe Photoshop. So let's get started, guys. So like I said earlier, we're going to start from how you can match one or two layers together. Now, if you open up your Photoshop workspace like this, and you get into your Photoshop layer panel, this is how it's going to look like then. And you can see here I have about 3 work layer. Okay, so if I turn off this layer, so let's see how it's going to look like on the workspace. So you can see there is a white blank there. Then if I turn off this layer also, so we have another white blank at the from the left and the right. Okay, now making all this graphic layer as a 3. Now in some cases you may have something like this and you want to group them in a one space, and also you want to combine them in a single layer. So the first way to group layer is that if you want to group this thing into a single layer, you can easily click on the first layer, which is the number 1 layer, then press that shift key on your keyboard, select the last layer. Then when you've done that, then you have to drag down and put it in the box. So this simply means that you have already grouped the layer together. So you can easily name this layer, you can just name it graphic file. Then you press enter key on your keyboard, you are done with that. So if you want to ungroup this stuff, the same thing you have to do is that you just press Ctrl S. So you can right click on it. When you right click on the group, you have to come up to the top here and then look for ungroup layer. So when you click on ungroup layer, it's going to open up your whatever you have actually grouped in the layer all together. Then another thing you can do here is that you can as well group all these things together and match them on a single layer, which simply means that you have a 3 layer right now. By the time you merge it together, it's going to combine everything into a single layer. So how do you do that? The first thing you have to do is to make sure that you need to select the actual layer that you want to merge all together. So you can press and you can decide to merge layer 1 plus layer 3. So let me name this a layer 3. So layer 3, and press enter key on my keyboard. Now you can decide to merge layer 1 and 3 all together. How do you do that? You have to press Ctrl key. When you press Ctrl key on your keyboard and then select the layer 1 layer, so when you select the first layer, then you right click on it and look for merge layers. Okay, so having merged the 2 layers together, then let's see how it's going to look like. Now here we can turn off the layer here. So you can see we have combined the two layers, the left shape and the big JPEG shape of the layer. We have merged it together. Okay, so Control Z to undo everything. Now, how do we merge everything all together? We still have to follow the same process. We can just start from the third layer or the first layer, then press that shift key on our keyboard to select all layers together. Then you right click on it and look for merge layers. Now, having merged it together, it simply means that you have a single layer. So you can, let's hide the layer. So you can see we have successfully merged all these things into a single layer. So this is how you work around with layers group and layer merge, and how you can easily separate layer from one another in Adobe Photoshop. So let's see how you can use elliptical marquee tool in Adobe Photoshop. So you can come to the tools bar here and have to right click on here. So when you right click on here, you have to select elliptical marquee tool. So when you select it, then you can just let's, for instance, I'm trying to use it right here. I press down Control key on my keyboard to draw a perfect one. Okay. Now this one here, we can just come to the selection area, right click on it, and we can choose a layer fair cut. Now this one we cut here, we can come back to the layer style, the layer panel here, right click on it, and choose layer style. I mean blending option, just to bring up layer style. So at this point here, we can just walk around with layer style and bring out some effect from this particular one here. You can start from drop shadow here, and then we can increase the distance. So you can increase the spread. So we can increase the size. Then we can as well add stroke color. So you can increase the stroke width or turn it down. So this is depends on what exactly we are looking at. So we can change the stroke color and click on this point here and turn it to black. Then we can click on OK. And we can increase the stroke width. So we can do any stuff effects. Then we can, so once we are satisfied with the outcome, the result of the effect, then we can click on OK. So these are the effect of using elliptical marquee tool in Adobe Photoshop. So the other tools we can use here is what we call single row marquee tool and a single color marquee tool. Now when you choose a single row marquee tool, and we have to locate the layer from the layer panel here, then you can make so you can press Ctrl T to open the transform tools, and can make it more large. So when you do that, it's going to have effect on the graphics. Okay, so in some cases, sometimes something like this, we can just use it to, Ctrl D, and let me make a new layer. So a new layer, then you can right click and then draw a rectangle. So I'm going to fill it with black color, and I'm drawing it right here. Okay. So we can just apply gradients on this. And right click and rasterize layer, then gradients. You can right click again here and blending option. Then we can apply gradient overlay to this, and can change the gradient format from the gradient picker. So you can choose another style like this one here, and you can click on OK, and then OK. So now we can as well use this rectangular, this tools here, singular marquee tool, and we can just select it this way and press Ctrl T to open the transform tool. So we can just drag it to the bottom. So having selected it, we can just drag and bring this one out exactly and bring it out to another place. So we can press Ctrl D to deselect. So we will have this this gradient from the dark gradient from this gradient option right here. Okay. So another way by which we can use all these tools is what we call a rectangular marquee tools. How do we do that? We mostly use rectangular marquee tool to cut out some stuff, just like what we just did now. And sometimes we make use of marquee tool to separate an EPS file. Okay, so let me look for EPS file from my desktop here. I have to go to File and Opened. So I'm looking for EPS file. Okay, so let me select this one here. And I click on Open. And I click on OK. Alright, so you can see these icons here, we can take them one after the other, because by the time we drag this now, it's going to be on everything is already on a single layer. But in some cases, we may need some part of this icon. So what we have to do here is to go to our home tab here, tools bar, right click on here and select rectangular marquee tool. So let's say for instance, I need this location icon here. You have to select it. When you select it and you right click on it and look for layer fill copy. So having make a copy, then we can hide the original layer, which is the layer 1. Then this one here, we can just drag it and take it to another new layers in Photoshop workspace. So we can drag this one down here. All right, so this one here we can as well resize it by pressing down Ctrl T on our keyboard and Shift key and alternative key on our keyboard and dragging just to make it more smaller. Then once you are satisfied with the size of the icon, then you press Enter key on your keyboard. So now the next thing we can do with this icon is that we can change the icon color. So all you have to do is to come to layer panel here, right click on the layer panel. Right click on the icon layer. Sorry. So we have to look for the, okay. So we have to right click on the icon layer, then choose blending options. So from this point here, we can choose color overlay. So we can change the color to whatever color of our choice. You can click on here and change from white to whatever color you like. So then once you are satisfied, click on OK and OK. Boom. So this is how you use all these tools like rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, margin of layer, grouping of layer, and all that in Adobe Photoshop. And I hope you guys learn one or two things in today's practical video, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.